Don't mess with the Zorros. Ladies and gentlemen, Antonio Banderas. It was great fun to make that. Never mind to watch that Zorro film. I love all that sword play as well. Did you become a good swordsman in the course of making the two movies now? Because this is a sequel to the first film.
Yes, I did, actually. In the first one, I was preparing myself with the Spanish national fencing team, Olympic team, and I was 4 months with them. So I got all the fundamentals, and then just the training that we do for the movie, which is basically just learning all the choreographies that we have to do. And,
do you keep a sword at home?
I do. I do. I have a couple of them in Marbella and a couple of them in Los Angeles too. Once in a while, if I am bored, just to fight with my own shadow.
Do you ever take them out to fight off an intruder?
I actually did once. It's true. I got an intruder once in my house, and the only weapon that I have, because I don't believe in guns, I don't like that gun culture at all, I took my sword. The only thing that I had in my house was the sword of Zorro. I was going to be killed probably in a second. We would have confronted the intruder, which I never saw.
You never saw him? It'd be something if you put the mask on as well, wouldn't you? Go out there and say, "Ah, this guy's shocker," I would imagine. It's a wonderful concept, because I mean, it's a great romp, the film, and I mean, lots of sword play and fighting, but nobody gets seriously hurt. There's no blood, no gore. Right. But were you, when you were growing up in Spain, were you a fan of Zorro in those days? Was it part of your life?
I think every kid was there, you know,
yes.
and we only had, at that time, only one TV channel in Spain, and I remember Saturday afternoons we saw the TV series coming from America with Guy Williams. And I remember also there was a movie theater very close to my house, actually, and Sunday mornings they had these beautiful matinees for kids. And we all went there, you know, and just watch. I saw there the Titan Power movie. There was a wooden floor, and we all kick on the floor when the Zorro appeared.
That's right.
And stuff like that. So yes, I was very
So
familiar.
you're a fan of Zorro before you actually played it, and you're
Yes,
first Spaniard to play it too, of course.
Yes.
So let's be reminded of let's have a look at the new film. Which it takes you on a pace in your career. You're now married. You've got a child.
Right.
What if you were the stuntman for this one? Because this is a really spectacular scene in the movie. Let's have a look at it. We'll ask you later.
I gotta tell you something. If you were my daughter, I would say that I did that.
When you were this boy growing up in Malaga in Spain, did you ever believe that you'd become a film star? Was that an ambition?
No, at the time, no, it wasn't. It was. I would have been, put in a mental institution. You would have said that I was going to work in Hollywood. I'd do Zorro, the movie that I was going to see in the movie theater close to my house. No, it would have been impossible for me.
Because in those days, of course, when you went into acting there on the theatre, and that's where you started, and that's where you trained. I mean, we're talking about times, about Franco's times. That it was theatre was a political tool, wasn't it?
Yes, I actually was arrested several times.
Really?
Doing theatre. I remember actually performing, being on the stage, performing Bertolt Brecht, and I remember looking on the wings in the theater, and I remember the shine of the helmets of the cops. And when the curtain came down, it went up, we took the bow, it went down again, the police came, handcuffed everybody, and everybody went to the police station. And my father was a police, and he was in the police station. What are you doing here? Shut up.
And then, of course, and out of that, all that became, as often it does, this protest, which Almodovar was one of the people who actually sponsored it, and it becomes a means of freedom of expression. That's what Almodovar was doing. I mean, his early films were about religion, anti-religion, about homosexuality, all the things that have been suppressed in the past, and you became part of that. Right. Did you ever worry, as they worry in Hollywood, that the image would be affected, if you like?
No, I didn't. I got a professor in my art dramatic school in Malaga that said to me, all the prejudgment that you may have and everything that you are coming with, you have to just hang it at the door. You have to be absolutely open to anything that is going to be offered to you. So I took that very seriously, and when Pedro Almodovar came, I didn't only see all the homosexual stuff. I saw that we were actually breaking part of our cinematography that at that time was basically talking about the Civil War and May '68. That was it. And there was nothing else. And with Pedro Almodovar, we had the opportunity of breaking the house a little bit to start building it from the beginning. You know? And I never felt, actually, that playing a homosexual was something against my career. And if I would have been, I wouldn't have been proud to be an actor.
But then, of course, you were asked to do it again, in a sense, when you went to America and you made Philadelphia, of course. But there again, you came across the contrast between the sort of European attitude, if you like, the Spanish attitude at the time, and the American, because they had a situation where you played Tom Hanks' gay lover, right. And yet you were barely seen, and certainly there was no physical contact there.
Yeah. Actually, there is one little kiss that is in the movie.
Yes.
And I suggested to do it. You know, I said to Tom, listen, when I see you at the hospital, it's the first time that the audience is going to see us together. The normal thing between two gay people is just to kiss each other in the mouth. And at the beginning, he was a little bit reticent, but at the end, he just came to me and said, you know what? I'm a married man. You're a married man. You are not going to lose a finger doing that. Let's do it. And we did it. But then there was a scene in the movie in which we were in bed. It was a kind of an innocent scene, very naive, nothing really serious. But the studio took it out of the movie. Yeah. Thinking that, especially in the Midwest, in the United States, it was going to be a little bit tough for the people. So
yes.
It was going to affect the movie. Yeah.
It prompted that wonderful remark, didn't it, from Tom Hanks, that you're the only man that he'd leave his wife for. Also, too, I mean, how did you get to Hollywood in the first place? Of course, you were this big star in Spain, but you didn't speak English, did you, at that time?
Nothing, zero.
And so you went to audition for Mambo Kings, wasn't it? Now, you didn't speak English, you were auditioning for a Hollywood movie.
They sent me first to an interview that I had with the director here in London. I said many times, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because I don't speak the language. This is going to be ridiculous. But my agent at the time convinced me that I had to have the interview and convinced me that I could speak English. I don't know how he did that. So I went to that dinner, and all I said during the whole dinner, I put very interesting faces, like I was actually understanding what the guy was saying. And I was saying, yes, yes. And suddenly, once in a while, I learned, of course. And at the end, I delivered, I can do that. And the guy was laughing all the time. He went away, and I thought, well, this is it. This is my American career here going away. But 2 weeks after, he called me and he said, can you learn the lines phonetically? Can you come to New York and do a screen test for us? So I went to New York. I was for 3 days doing a screen test, and at the end of those 3 days, they offered me the Mambo Kings.
And then the rest, that's how it started. But I mean, in that time, too, before you got hold of the language, there must have been occasions when you were asked to sort of do interviews and things where, again, we were not understanding half of what was said to you.
The first interview that I did in American television, the presenter, the speaker said to me, he made this question, he says, so Antonio, what is your American favorite food? And I said, Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese. And I blushed for a week.
Also, too, the other thing that you've done as well, I mean, you've changed the perception that the movie industry had, particularly of the Hispanic actor. I mean, he'd always been the drug dealer, hadn't he? He'd been the sort of shady character. And now you made him more than that now. You're actually, he's the leading man now. Correct. And that must be maybe you have a sense of achievement there, I would think.
Achievement not only for me, it was an achievement for the whole entire Spanish community in the United States. It's true, when I was doing the Mambo Kings, some of the actors that were working with me, Puerto Rican and Cubans, they said, well, if you're going to work in this, in Hollywood, you're going to be the bad guy continuously. You're going to be a delinquent. But fortunately, not only Hollywood, but the whole entire society in America change pretty much on the favor of the Spanish community. It's a very strong community now. There are more Spanish people in America than in Spain. There are 50 million people in the United States. And now, fortunately, thanks to the work of those fathers that came and worked very hard and sent their kids to universities, we have a Spanish community that is practically occupying every state of this American society. They can be the president of a bank, they can be a senate, they can be cutting the grass in Los Angeles too, you know. But the spectre of working and the professional life open dramatically, you know, for good.
But also, too, I would imagine, I don't know, you live in Los Angeles, you have to live there because as a working actor, that's really where the work is. But are you drawn back to Spain? Because it's such a beautiful country and it's so magnetic, isn't it?
Very much, very much. I miss very much.
What do you miss about it?
My family, of course, and my friends. I miss the food. I miss just to walk on the street, which is something almost forbidden in Hollywood. You're walking in Beverly Hills at 11 o'clock at night, and you may be arrested. And,
but what's it like for you? Because the one thing about LA, you see, is you can become anonymous in LA, can't you?
I do. I can move around without problem.
You can't do it in Spain, can you?
I can't at the beginning. If we're going to spend a couple of months in Spain, the first couple of weeks are very, very, very tough. I have lived in my hometown very strong situations with paparazzi. Some of them it's almost difficult to tell. But for example, I have had guys throwing broken Coca-Cola bottles to my garden from the beach in order for somebody in the family to get hurt. The hospital is very close to my house, so they have a story. I got the telephones tap. That happens basically at the beginning of my relationship with Melanie. When Melanie gave birth, it sounds like a joke, but it's true. I had to take her with 2 undercover cops on top of a wall that was as tall as that with 2 ladders, pregnant, she was doing, to the neighbor's house, put her in a rented car under blankets, and get away to the hospital like that because we had 150 guys at the door of my house who were willing to stop the car and probably break the glass and make pictures. It was ridiculous and dangerous, and I complained very much about that. And finally, they came to their senses, and the situation now is completely different years after. But at the beginning of our relationship, I have to recognize that it was very hard. I wouldn't call those guys anyway journalists or anything related to that. They're an individual body that moves and uses the same tools than journalists, but they are not.
They're packed and they hunt in. That's right.
They're hunters, exactly.
All right, fine. So now you've got this film which is coming out, The Legend of Zorro, which comes out later on in a couple of weeks' time. And is there going to be a third one? I sense there is. And I mean, if you wait another 7 years at it?
I hope not. I hope not because my bones are going to crack.
But do you think there's another one in you?
The word is in the audience. They have to decide. Now the movie doesn't belong to us anymore.
Antonio Banderas, thank you very much indeed.
Antonio Banderas.